I always wanted to own a pair, the AirPods Max, the pinnacle of Apple headphones, the most expensive Apple headphones you can buy. The Apple headphones that only rich people bought, or at least I thought so. Also the headphones that many people hate for simply being way too overpriced, way too overhyped. They don't deliver the sound and other qualities that other headphones do, but people buy them simply because they're made by Apple. And I always thought that spending over $500 on a pair of headphones, no matter how good they are, is simply bonkers. I could not justify the purchase myself. And before you start screaming at me, yes, I know, these aren't by far the best out there, and that proper headphones for audiophiles can cost way more than what AirPods can do. And of course I know that these are Bluetooth headphones, and no matter how good they are, you'll still get the best audio quality or lossless audio only via wire. And more I think about it, even when they were first unveiled back in December 2020, I thought they're ugly. I didn't like the way they look. But of course design preference is very subjective, but for me at least, first, I didn't like them at all, but over the time they grew on me, and I do like the way they look. They look very different and like anything else on the market right now, I think. And despite all this, I got a pair myself a few months ago. They're used, they're old, with the lightning port, not the new ones, but the USB-C port. I could not pick the color, they're in the blue color, luckily, and I only paid half of the price what I would normally pay at Apple. And you know what, as much as I hate them, I also do love them. Let me explain. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Should you buy a pair in 2025, or should you simply go full skip or AirPods Max? Let's talk about design first, because that's something that's really distinguishing these pair of headphones from anything else that's on the market right now, no matter what you think of Apple or AirPods. Let's talk about positives first. I really do like this design. As I said, at first I did not like it, but over time it grew on me. The design is very industrial-like, very raw, very timeless, and almost retro looking. I also do like the fact that you have replaceable cushions here. You simply take them off like this, super easy, and put them back on. They snap right back in thanks to magnets. And now the cushions from Apple, they're very expensive, $70, which is a lot. But obviously you can get a cheaper alternative from Amazon. You can also get those with special cooling gel or whatnot. There's plenty of them on Amazon. You don't need to pick the ones from Apple, which is great. I also do like the controls on AirPods Max. There are no touch controls yet, like you get on Sony headphones or AirPods Pro or original AirPods. So you got one large digital crown, which works for controlling the volumes. And you can also pause and unpause the music with this. Obviously skip the song and stuff like that. And then there's another button which works for switching between modes. So you got the transparency mode, you got the ANC mode and stuff like that. There's no power off button, but I'll get to that later. If you look around, you also got the cutout for antenna. These are made from aluminum, so Apple had to make the cutout for all the Bluetooth signal to go through. You also get plenty of microphones around the headphones for not just phone calls, but also for active noise cancellation. And there is also that good old lightning port, which in the newer version is being replaced by the USB-C. By the way, the newer version of AirPods, which was the refresh that happened last year, is literally the same hardware. All they did is they slightly changed the color and they replaced lightning port with USB-C port. Sticking with the positives here, I need to mention obviously the elephant in the room, the sound quality. The sound quality is fantastic. AirPods Max do sound excellent. There's no tuning needed if you use it with Spotify, Apple Music or Tidal. They sound perfect right out of the box. There's no equalizer, however, so you're simply stuck with how Apple tunes their headphones, whether you like it or not. Then my second most favorite thing after the sound quality on AirPods Max is obviously active noise cancellation. By far, they have the best active noise cancellation on the market right now, period. I mostly use the ANC on the plane and they beat Sony XM5s and anything else that's out there. If you're talking Bluetooth headphones, they are fantastic. Or if I'm working in a distracting environment, I turn on the ANC and I simply work in a complete silence. And it does work very well. You don't feel like you're underwater, if you know what I mean. it does work very, very well. The exact opposite of ANC mode is the transparency mode. And essentially what transparency mode does, it allows you to hear everything around you, talk to people, and listen to other conversations, just like if you would not be wearing any headset. And this for me is absolute game changer. This feature is fantastic on AirPods Pro, but AirPods Max simply takes it to another level. So the way it works is, all those microphones that are on the AirPods Max reproduce the sound from your surrounding and they replay the sound to your ear, and the accuracy is just scary. It's just way too good. And it sounds almost better than reality. You can keep them on with the transparency mode. You don't need to take them off and put them back on when you talk to people. Fantastic. I use this in the office all the time, and that way I can keep them on my head for 8 hours straight, and I simply switch between transparency mode and ANC mode all the time. So those were the positives. Now let's talk about negatives. As much as I praise the design, this year AirPods Max will be turning 5 years. They'll be 5 years old, which is ancient in tech world. So here I'm very divided. I said they're timeless, but at the same time I would appreciate a refresh design this year or maybe next year, where Apple would address some of the things that I'm going to mention now. That gets me to this. I don't know what the hell was Apple thinking when they designed this thing and they thought it's good enough to release it to public. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a case for AirPods Max that comes with every AirPods Max, obviously matching the color of the actual headset. But this thing is the only thing that will put the AirPods Max to the sleep. There's no turn on or turn off button, as I showed you before. So all you need to do is you need to fold them and put them back in like this. And right now, there's a magnet here. And right now they'll go to sleep, apparently. You never know, because obviously there's no power off button. Did I mention that these cost $500? As you can see, the case doesn't look too nice over time. It's full of smudges and fingerprints. That's because it's made of the same material as those Apple Silicon cases are made, and the same material is also used on the headband here, the rubberized soft silicone. So this is an absolute garbage. I don't know what the hell were they thinking, but anyways, now there's this headband. So headband actually is very comfortable when you put them on. They feel great. I have the ANC on now. Now I switch it to transparency mode so I can hear my voice perfectly loud and clear. So the way you adjust the size, you simply do this to adjust it to the size to fit your head perfectly. So that's fine, no issues there. But then here, up here, you have this net-like mesh material, which is, well, very flimsy. Not good at all. Very flimsy, very prone to damage or tearing. Probably the weakest point of the entire headset if we ignore the whole bra situation. So every time when I carry them around in my hand, I try to not to touch this bit. You can damage it easily through here. But it's fine if you're careful enough. But they're not meant to be used like outdoors in extreme conditions or in gym or whatnot. So this also brings me to another negative point, that these are not suitable for working out. I think that's pretty obvious. One of the reasons why they are not suitable for workout or running is that they are just too heavy. They weigh 348.8 grams or 13.6 ounces, while Sony XM5, for example, they only weighed 249 grams or 8.8 ounces. And that's a huge difference. Don't get me wrong, AirPods Max are designed very well so you can wear them all day long, no issue. There's not too much pressure on your ears, on your head. But for workout, unusable. I tried it, trust me. I tried it, and I even tried it for running, but yeah, they're not suitable. On the other hand, I do use my Sony XM5s for running and for working out and doing the push-ups or whatnot. They do work very well for that, and they are not designed for that, but anyways. So yeah, we talked about durability for a bit, and I think it goes without saying, but because they're made from aluminum, this bit here is prone to scratches. I see many people putting some weird cases over these bits here, and I hate it. I do not like it at all. I like to, have them raw and exposed like this. If they get scratched, that's fine. This is why I bought them used. If anything, I would probably buy a proper case for them, because that thing on the floor is ridiculous. Speaking of protection, ever since Apple discontinued their original leather cases, I've struggled to find something that feels truly premium for my iPhone. I've recently came across Ryan London's leather cases, and I've actually been using them daily for a while now. What stands out to me is the genuine high quality leather, precise fit, and especially how they handled the new camera control button on the iPhone 16 lineup. Most companies seem confused how to tackle it, but Ryan London really got it right. They offer two versions, one with a precise cutout and another with the sapphire crystal button. Personally, the crystal button feels incredibly satisfying, and the leather itself develops that beautiful patina just like Apple's original cases. So if you've been searching, as I was, for a true replacement for Apple's leather cases, definitely check them out. I'll leave my link down below and you can use code Decoding Labs for 10% off. Back to the video. I already mentioned that you can't turn them off, so that's something that could put many people off. They were expecting that last year when they refreshed the AirPods Max with the USB-C that they would finally add possibility to fully turn them off. But this has never materialized in typical Apple fashion. Another thing that's annoying about AirPods Max is they still use H1 chip, which means no voice isolation and no Siri interaction. Though I don't really care because I don't really use these things, so I'm completely fine with that. I only rarely take phone calls with AirPods Max, but it's something to keep in mind. Now, a big one. There's no headphone jack. Meaning, if you really want to enjoy that lossless audio, if you are subscribed to Tidal, or if you simply use Apple Music with their higher quality presets, you're out of luck. In order to do that, what you need to do is you need to buy an adapter first. Yes, another adapter. From Lightning to 3.5mm, and that's how you can hook it up to your computer or anything that you listen to your music through. So you can either get the original adapter from Apple for $10, or you can simply get anything way cheaper on Amazon. No big deal in my opinion, but still, you know, the headphones that cost over $500 should have an audio jack because they're expected to be used as a reference headphones as well. As I mentioned before, these are not an AirPods Max with the USB-C, but rather the old model with the Lightning port, which is a little annoying, let's be honest. Most of my tech, which you can see around me, can be charged with USB-C. But again, you know, what I did, I went on Amazon and I bought a dongle. So I bought these two adapters for €6. There were two in packaging, the USB-C to Lightning. I mean, not end of the world, not ideal. And then I also managed to find some old Lightning cables at home, but annoyingly enough, they are USB-A to Lightning. So of course the USB-C would be ideal, but for me, it's not worth $500. I'm happy to pay $6 for an adapter and, you know, and just use that. I would also like to mention some other headphones that I use in perspective to AirPods Max. So I also do own the Sony XM5s, which I did the review of on this channel when I was comparing them to XM4s, which I used to own before, and those were fantastic because XM4s could fold. These cannot fold. These are slightly downgrade in my opinion to XM4s, but still I do like them. As I mentioned before, I do use them mostly for workouts or if I go out running. They're brilliant. They have excellent ANC, excellent sound quality, and guess what? They do have audio jack. But I also feel a little flimsy and, you know, they're plasticky, so they don't feel that high end, and there are those touch controls on the side which do work sometimes. You know, if you swipe up, it's for volume up, swipe down for volume down. Left and right is for skipping the songs. They are great and obviously fantastic alternative for most people to AirPods Max. I would highly recommend these. So yeah, I just want to show you the other headphones that I also use. And I also have the good old AirPods Pro. And I had these since they released back in 2020. And previously I even used to own the first generation of AirPods Max from 2019, and they were also great, fantastic. So these are great if you really are on the go and if you don't have too much space. And the sound quality is, for size and for price, great. This is the old model, so Lightning port situation here. But I never actually charge them via cable. I always charge them wirelessly using the mini pack that's being used to charge the Apple Watch. So I think that's pretty convenient, pretty handy. These always go with me everywhere I go, even if I have AirPods Max or XM5s with me, but these are my backup earphones. So in the end, if you really want AirPods Max, and if you're willing to shop around a bit, go for it. You won't regret it. But do not, for love of God, pay a full price for them. Just don't. They're not worth it. If you can get them for half of price or cheap, second-hand, used, refurbished, whatnot, go for it. But do not buy a new pair of AirPods Max. If you do get them, you'll be very, very, very happy about them. Yes, there are things that are very annoying, like no power off button or that silly bra case and other things, but at the end, they're made by Apple. They always do make weird decisions that people don't understand, but despite that, people buy their products for some reason. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this very short video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.